In the last chapter, we looked at the fundamentals of object-oriented programming, and specifically, we learned how to add attributes and methods to class definitions. Now I want to add a little more complexity to our classes and start looking at more of the features of object-oriented programming as we start to put it into practice. And I want to kick it off with a discussion of class inheritance. Now, the idea of inheritance is essential to object-oriented programming. And basically it's this. We can define one class, and then we can define another class that inherits its behavior from the first class. And when I say it inherits its behavior, that means it inherits its attributes and its methods. Let's take a look at how we can do that. So I'm just going to go down and open up my text editor. I'll do new file, and I'm just going to do a quick save on this. We'll put it in the sandbox. I'm going to call it inheritance. There we go. And I'll just start out with my PHP tags. Now, we've already seen how to define a class, so let's just do that real quick. Let's say class car, and we'll say that our car has an attribute called wheels, and it's going to be equal to 4 by default, and another variable that's going to be equal to doors. We'll make that equal to 4 by default. And then let's say a function, and we'll just make a silly function here. We'll call it wheels doors, and that will return this, wheels, right? We know how to do that, plus this, and the arrow, doors. So it's going to add those two together and return it. So like I said, it's a silly function, but it'll at least make the point for us. And then let's make another class, class compact car. Now, we could just go ahead and define compact car, right? And we could tell it how many wheels and how many doors it has. But we can instead use inheritance and say, well, actually, this is going to extends car. Class car extends car. So if we extend this class, then it inherits all of its behavior from car. Okay? Let's just give this a try without doing anything else. Let's now say, all right, we have car 1, and that's going to be equal to a new car. And then we'll go ahead and have car 2, and make that equal to a new compact car. So now I have one of each of these classes. So let's say echo car 1, and let's find out its number of wheels, and we'll add our BR tag at the end to make it look nice and pretty. And I'm just going to copy that line. We're going to also ask for its doors, and we're going to ask for wheels doors with the parentheses, right? Because it's a method that we're calling. And then let's do another echo BR. And then I'm going to just copy all of that a second time, and this time it's going to be for car 2. So let's take a look now. If we open that up in Firefox, we'll go back to our sandbox, which is localhost, and then the tilde Kevin if you're on a Mac, otherwise just BTB sandbox. And then we put this in inheritance.php. What happened? Notice that both of them return the same values, right? Wheels 4, doors 4, wheels plus doors equals 8. Compact car, though, didn't have any definition. It got all of that from car. That's what inheritance is. And if we were to go back and change it so that the doors on car now are 2, and we save it, reload it, and they change for both as well. At the time that we create the class in our PHP page, it inherits its behavior from the other one. Now, of course, we could change these values in each instance, right? We could go ahead and say, well, actually, both are going to have 4, but then we're going to stop right here and tell car 1 that it actually has 2 doors. That's still not going to change compact car. Compact car is still going to have 4 doors because it's inheriting the default behavior in the class, not the instance. So it doesn't matter how we push and pull on different instances of it, right? Because we could have a red car and a blue car and a green car, and we can define those all after we create this class. The important part is that compact car takes this definition and just imports it down here into its own body. That's what the extends does. Now, one of the nice features about inheritance is that we have the ability to override those characteristics that are in the above one. So we can say, well, you know what? Everything that's in this compact car class should be the same, except that doors should be equal to 2. And now it'll inherit everything that's above, but doors will be equal to 2, not 4. Right? We could try that real quick just to see it. See, there's the difference. So it overrides the inheritance. And we can do that for anything. I'll just take function wheels doors real quick and just copy it down here. So we'll have that in there as well, and let's say plus 100. So now we go back and we run it. You'll see that it overrides that inherited method. So those are the two fundamental concepts about inheritance that we need to know, is that one, that we can inherit all of those attributes and methods, and two, that we have the ability to override them if we don't want to use them. The last thing I want to do before we leave inheritance, though, is to show you a couple of other methods that you can use. And I'm just going to paste them in here. You'll see I'm using getParentClass, and I'm using isSubclassOf. Those are two methods that are built into PHP that will tell me what the parent class of each of these are, if it has a parent, or tell me true or false, is something a subclass of something else. All right, so let's just try those real quick and see what they do. So there we go. Now look at the answers here. So car parent, it asked for the parent class of car, and it came back with nothing. That means it doesn't have a parent. Okay, that's how we know. The compact car parent, though, we asked it for its parent, and it was car. And then on the subclass of, car is not a subclass of itself. Compact car is a subclass of car, but car is not a subclass of compact car. So those are some methods we can use when we start programming to check and find out dynamically whether or not something is or isn't a subclass. And I just want to make sure that I at least show those to you so you could draw upon them if you ever needed those. In the next movie, let's take a look at another important aspect of object-oriented programming, which is how we can modify access to our attributes and to our methods.